a massive wall that is long enough to encircle half the circumference of the Earth. The Great Wall that took more than 2,000 years to build. A wonder of the world built against Turkish and Mongol raids. In the documentary series where we examine the new 7 wonders of the world, we continue to move backwards again according to the year they were built. Our last guest will be the Great Wall of China, which was completed in 700 BC and stretches for kilometers. Originally known in Chinese as the Wall 10,000 Chinese miles long, or simply the Long Wall, but later called the Great Wall, this defensive structure is known to us as the Great Wall of China. Its construction continued for centuries to prevent the invasions of various Turkic tribes, especially the Great Han Empire from the Eurasian steppes, as well as the Mongols. The first fortifications were completed around 700 BC, and new additions were made until 1644 AD. In 1987, the Great Wall of China was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List and put under protection. Contrary to popular belief, the Great Wall is not a single line, but dozens of parallel and independent lines built by different dynasties over more than 2,000 years. The most well-known sections today are the walls built by the Ming dynasty between 1368 and 1644. If we were to connect the entire Great Wall end to end into a single line, we would create a massive defensive line, 21,196 kilometers long, including the moats and rivers connected to the Great Wall. This is more than half the circumference of the Earth. The Great Wall of China was not only intended to prevent invasions, it also had important purposes such as protecting borders, preventing possible migrations, controlling trade, controlling and taxing the Silk Road. In fact, the defensive features of the Great Wall enabled the establishment of watchtowers, soldier barracks, and garrison stations. It was also possible to communicate by sending signals quickly through smoke or fire, and the road along the Great Wall could be used as a transportation corridor. For these purposes, the Great Wall was built from 3 basic components: gates, watchtowers, and walls. The passes served as gates at critical points, especially at the points where the Silk Road passed or where the city entrances and exits were made. Watchtowers were built at regular intervals and communicated by fire, smoke, flag, or sound. The inside of the towers were built to accommodate soldiers. To prevent invasions, walls of at least 4 and at most 10 meters in height were built between the watchtowers and the gates. The earliest walls of the Great Wall were a mixture of wood, gravel, and earth, strong enough to withstand attacks by petty dynasties, using simple weapons such as swords and spears. Built on the plains and not very high, these walls were not very difficult to overcome. However, the abundance of stone in the mountains made the walls built later on mountain ranges stronger. Very few of these ancient walls, the first to be built of both earth and stone, have survived to the present day. The most spectacular and sturdiest walls, we can even call them fortifications, were built by the Ming dynasty in the 14th century, especially against Mongol invasions. The use of bricks and stones instead of the rammed earth used in the old walls, and the fact that they were built much higher and wider, made the Great Wall of China built by the Ming dynasty more durable, and these walls have survived to the present day. From the initial construction in 1368, the Ming dynasty built 6,259 kilometers of fortifications with 25,000 watchtowers by 1644. Add to this the ditches, hills, and rivers connected to the fortifications, and you have 8,850 kilometers of defenses. The Manchu, who continued to live in an ethnic region we know today as Manchuria, succeeded in overcoming the Great Wall in 1644 and overthrew the Ming dynasty. After this date, no new wall was built again, and the construction of the Great Wall of China stopped. There are several important points where you can visit the Great Wall. The first of these is Yumen Pass, one of the oldest points of the Great Wall. This was an important passage for the control of the Silk Road. It was built by the Han Dynasty around 200 BC. Another point to visit later is the westernmost Jiayu Gorge, which belongs to the wall first built by the Ming Dynasty in medieval times. The walls here appear to be 11 meters high, built of a mixture of stone and rammed earth. It is possible to see the magnificent towers of Chinese architecture at both ends of the gate. This section of the Great Wall was built in 1372 to protect against Timur's attacks. Yanmen Pass, a mountain pass, is also a must-see. The pass was first built around 300 BC, but it took its final form in 1374 during the Ming Dynasty. The walls here have an average height of 4 meters and were built against Turkish raids from Eurasia. The most visited and iconic section of the Great Wall is located in the town of Badaling in Beijing. Built in 1504 by the Ming Dynasty, it is possible to walk along the walls. This was the first section of the Great Wall to be opened for tourism. Another mountain pass through the valley is the Juyong Pass. Built in 1342, it is located close to the city of Beijing. The walls here rise up to 8 meters high. In the center of the gorge is the gateway called the Cloud Platform. Another iconic site to visit is the section known as Jinshanling in Luanping County. The height of the walls here varies between 5 and 8 meters. Another section of the Great Wall close to the city of Beijing is Mutianyu. The 7 to 8.5 meter high walls here were built to protect the city and the imperial tombs. Initial construction began in the mid-6th century, but it was finalized in 1569. This is also one of the places where watchtowers were built at the most frequent intervals. Finally, a must-see is the Shanhai Gorge, which joins the Bohai Sea in the east. It was built to control the sea and prevent incursions from the north. The last point where the wall, which can rise up to 14 meters, meets the sea, is called the Old Dragon's Head and is a visual feast. While these sections of the Great Wall have been restored and better preserved, the remaining kilometers are in ruins. The dilapidated sections were sometimes used to construct different buildings and sometimes destroyed for mining activities. Stones with inscriptions on them have even been sold on the black market. A myth in popular culture is that the Great Wall of China can be seen from space. We can see that this myth is completely untrue by the following example. Trying to look at the Great Wall of China from the moon is equivalent to trying to look at a human hair from 3 kilometers away. However, if you look from a distance of about 160 to 320 kilometers in low Earth orbit in the atmosphere, without going into space, and if you know where to look at the same time, it is possible to see the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall continues to welcome more than 10 million tourists every year, making it one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world. There are 5 separate entry points for tourists, especially close to the capital Beijing. Entrance tickets are about $10. But if you include transportation to and from Beijing, the cost is $20 or $30. If we ask how the new 7 wonders of the world were determined, the fact that only the pyramids of Giza remained from the wonders of antiquity led to the idea that the 7 wonders should be updated. Thus, a foundation initiated a worldwide vote in 2007 to determine the new 7 wonders of the world in no particular order. The new 7 wonders of the world respectively: the Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, completed in 1931, the Taj Mahal in India, finished in 1643, Machu Picchu, an ancient city in Peru founded in 1450, Chichen Itza, the famous pyramid in Mexico, was built in 600. The Colosseum is a Roman masterpiece in Italy, completed in 80. Petra is another ancient city in Jordan dating back to 312 BC. And the Great Wall of China, a mile-long structure begun in 700 BC, was determined as. For the continuation of new documentaries, I ask you not to forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also support HERODOTUS channel more by joining the channel.